evening of small scale agriculture and grow box, sponsored by the Ministry of Sport and Community Development. I am your tutor for the evening, Jensen Alexander, on behalf of our host, Trudy Grant, our co-host, Mr. Rajiv Singh, my assistant, Justine Alexander. I want to welcome you to another evening of small-scale agriculture and grow box. Today we will be dealing with fertilization and fertilizing of the plant. We're going to get into more depth into fertilizing. But you know, on each one of our courses, we normally will review what we have done. We're going to look at the plants that we have planted, and we're going to look at our compost heap that we did in the trough, and then we're going to look at the compost heap that we did in the open, right? But before we start, we always invite God's presence with us in prayer. So let's bow our heads for prayer. Heavenly Father, we give you praise and honor this evening. We thank you for life. We thank you for the weather. We have rain. And we give you the honor and glory due unto your name. As we get into another class, open up our minds so that we can learn more and continue to trust you, continue to plant and grow our own food. In Jesus' name, amen. So, firstly, I want to take you to our first project. And you can see I am my own cameraman today. Right. So this is our first project, the grow box. Now, we're coming up to pest and disease, but I want to bring you close to this fella. Don't know if you can see him. Bringing him up there. So he's one of the hoppers. He is the one that eats most of the leaves on the pak choy and the cabbage and the lettuce. Very destructive fella. Pests. You know, they are good pests and they are bad pests. Yeah, there are pests who will move and pollinate, and there are pests who will eat and destroy. So this is the one that will eat and destroy. I'm trying to get a good shot of him on the camera. Let me see if I can bring him to the camera. Where is he? Where's the camera? Right, there he is. So it's one of the, what we call the grasshoppers or the hoppers. Then we have loopers. We're going to discuss them, how we deal with them with pest and disease. And we're going to make sure that we protect our plants. Now, here we haven't yet staked our tomatoes, but our tomatoes starting to blossom, as you can notice. They are blossoming. Our pak choy, we should be harvesting these pak choy by next week, right? And the lettuce. Now the lettuce are getting, if you watch the leaves, you're gonna see the leaves. Yeah, insects are attacking them. I could have harvested them before, but at this course, I want to show you how to treat with the pests and disease that your leaves, and we can adjust it as we go along, right? This is what we have done in the pots, our pak choy, our cabbage, the next pak choy, and the lettuce. All right. Now we have our sweet pepper blossoming here. You'll notice some of the leaves are being attacked by a fungus. We're going to address that and disease. And watch our chive, how beautiful our chive is coming. But I want to show you this parsley. Even though the leaves are looking to take it over and block it off, the parsley is still
coming relatively lovely. Relatively lovely.
This is one of the worms that were on the leaves of the plant. See it moving there. And that's the grasshopper there. I put it on my work table. All right. Our tomatoes is coming lovely. All right, we're gonna move to the other beds, but I want to take it to, I just gave the a turn, you see, it has its juice in the container underneath, has its container underneath, but watch how it's coming. Watch how we're going down to level number 3, and if you can notice, you're seeing the decomposition taking place. No smell, because we put in the dirt, and we're ensuring that. Now I'm using a small hand rake to go through my compost heap. You're gonna be seeing little worms moving up and down, but no smell. And this is covered under a table in the open, not getting wet. We are wetting it when it's needed, but it's nice and moist, and the decomposition is taking place. Remember the planting skin that I had there? Watch how they're turning, and this is just after 1 week. This is just after 1 week. Now the next one that we're doing, the next compost heap that we have done, we wouldn't turn it today. We'll do it after 2 weeks, but I will show you how it's looking. This is it here, and you can notice it has dropped a lot. It has dropped a lot. There's still some newspaper inside it to have some decomposition, but it has turned relatively brown. And within next week, it should be getting dark. Should be soaking. I have to soak it later on, although it had a nice heavy shower today. I will still check and see how it has penetrated. And we will look at our hot compost heap. Even in dealing with the fertilization today, we're going to show how compost assists. Now we will go to our organic bed. And this is our organic bed. As you can see, they are thriving well. The pak choy. We do a little housekeeping. We pull out the grass. Make sure the weeds not competing with the plants. So you need to move out all these weeds. Clear them up. This is our organic bed. I know some of you had sent some emails to me. I would respond to some of them later tonight. So we're moving all these, and all these, what I'm moving out, if I want, I can put them to the side and then put them in a new compost heap, which I'm about to do again for myself. All right? Because composting is really good to enhancing the soil. Watch out, the lettuce and the parsley is coming here. It's coming really good. Remember, this parsley was looking sort of weakish, but it has survived. So you do make sure you do your tending to your field. Remember when we plant some of these lettuce, it was looking like they will die. But now
they're looking fantastic. And you can see the little bugs, little ladybugs on them. Yes, you will have to compete with nature in making sure that your crop survive, because you don't want to do too much of spraying pesticides on your crop. The least amount of pesticides is always good for you. And our sweet pepper and pimento. And this is on our organic bed. So this is what our organic bed looks like. Nice and luscious. I am being attacked a lot here by some mosquitoes. They love my blood. Let me see. Every time you come in here, you come in with long sleeve, but we catch you today, short sleeve. Right, so this is the organic bed. We have our sweet peppers or pimentos or cabbage or lettuce or pak choy on this bed. Now we go into the bed where we use our synthetic fertilizer, and you can see they're coming bigger. And it's not because the organic bed is not getting the fertilizer that is needed from the organic fertilizer, but because synthetic fertilizer breaks down faster when water hits it, it goes to the plant faster. And that is why you will see like those who are using fertilizers that the things moving faster because it's getting the nutrients much faster. So let's do a little cleaning here. Move out some weeds, some on our bed. Our cabbage is getting ready to start a fall. Our lettuce is looking very good also. The pak choy is looking good, and the cabbage getting ready to fall. And you know, there were two pimento that I had taken off from a plant, from two plants, from this plant and that plant. Well, one is still here struggling. I don't know if you're gonna make it, but look at the other one. Look at this one here. So nice it's coming here. Take all these weeds. Yeah, watch how nice this one is coming here. As we can see. Nice. And the two others are striving beautiful. Striving beautiful. So, as you see, we are really progressing on our beds, and I hope that your grow box and your beds at home are coming the same way. Remember, I haven't done anything different to what I've taught you to do. All right, I haven't done anything different. We're doing it the same way, ensuring that at the end of the day, what I taught you would be put in practice, and you will be able to get good yield and improve on your grow box and your beds, right? So this is what we have done. I'm now going to switch cameras, or switch the position of the camera, that is. And I'm going to talk to you about fertilizing your crop.
Okay, so just tell me, did you hear anything at all that I said? I just realized that my mic was off. So I need to go over everything with you again. Are you hearing me now? Are you hearing me now?
Yes, Mr. Johnson.
Okay, so I'm very sorry that you wasn't hearing me before. I will go over what I did earlier on, right? So I'm going to switch cameras. Key. So here we go. So this is our first bed that we have done, the first grow box. As you can see, our tomatoes is starting to blossom, right? Some is pushing
Mr.
buds.
Alexander, we saw all of that. Is when you switch cameras, we didn't hear from.
Yeah, but some people didn't hear me when I was talking. So I don't know if everybody heard when I was dealing with this. Did everybody hear me?
No, we didn't.
Okay, yeah, so it was my fault. So I know you saw it, but I need to just go it over. All right, my apologies. All right, so this is our lettuce that we planted in the containers and the pak choy. This is what we have planted in the containers, right? And this is our compost, the first compost.
You know, when I
heap.
said join with audio, I think you have something else on.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, this is the first compost that we did, putting in the dirt and and as you can see, the breakdown is taking place wonderful. The breakdown is taking place very good. This is only, what, 1 week old? A week and some days, and very good in terms of our compost. Very good in terms of our compost. Look at the breakdown. Are you seeing it?
yes, I'm now seeing your screen.
Okay. So I have two devices on. I want you to focus on this one. Then we will switch to the other a little later on. This device has the back camera so that I can switch it, but I don't have much charge on this device, so it will go on me. The other one is a little distance from me, but I'll get it. But this is our compost, and this is how it's looking very well. Nice decomposition taking place here. All right. So we're gonna put it back under the table where it's gonna stay, getting its shade. Now I'm gonna take you back to the beds that we have done. Are you hearing me? Are you seeing me? Are you hearing and seeing?
Yes, I'm here seeing you.
This is the organic bed that we didn't use any synthetic fertilizer. And you can see the pak choy coming very good, the lettuce coming good, the parsley. The cabbage is still coming up. The sweet peppers is still coming up, a little stressed out based on the nutrients, maybe just getting to them, but they are coming on and they're looking good. I cleaned the bed earlier on. This is the bed where we did synthetic fertilizer, where we use the foot, and you can see the cabbage is already folding. The sweet pepper. You see in the my assistant told me she's not seeing it, so I don't know what is the problem with this device. Maybe my battery is going.
But I hope you have seen as much as possible. I now want to talk to you about fertilizing and fertilization. And for you to understand that in organic fertilization and using synthetic fertilization, the plant doesn't know the difference. All the plant knows that it is getting nutrition to grow. You as on the other hand, as the individual, would like to use organic, natural fertilization. And you get that through composting by using things that can give you nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. And in so doing, it's always important to understand that your plants, as I told you earlier in this beginning of the class, cannot call up a phone number for food to be delivered. You got to deliver the food to the plants. So at this time now, my assistant will put on the PowerPoint and I will now explain to you fertilization. So I'm going to switch cameras with you and will be with you shortly on that. As I just washing my hands and getting to that PowerPoint. Plants need fertilizer to grow. There are three main fertilizers that plants need. Oh, I didn't switch. Let me switch my other camera. Nitrogen helps in that boost to get above the ground, right? By fertilizing your garden, you replenish lost nutrients and ensure that the plant have food they need to flourish, right? So that is what you do. Next slide. When should you fertilize? Remember we discussed that some people like to fertilize when rain falling, but it's not good to fertilize at that time. But they say the best time to fertilize is around when the plant has to grow actively. You want it to begin an active growth. You want to ensure that the plant has strong root or the trees have strong root. You can, if you want to fertilize potted plants, you can do so also. For if you're doing edible crops, you usually apply the fertilizer
during the evening period, right? Or early in the morning, so that when the heat gets it, it could melt and it could be released in the soil and that your plants could drink it up and be nourished. Next slide. So what are the best fertilizers? All fertilizers are good, whether organic or not non-organic. But for us who like to be using natural, I will say organic fertilizers are the best fertilizers. It is created through nature. And when we do our compost, we ensure that that organic fertilizer is used naturally and our plants can absorb it naturally. Now, as I said earlier on, the plants don't choose, well, okay, I'm getting a synthetic now, so I won't take the synthetic, I will want organic. No. To them, it's food. They're getting the food, they will feed on it, and they will ensure that at the end of the day, they get what is needed to grow, right? Organic is, for me, is safer. It's not made up of any chemicals. You use your eggshells, you use your rotten wood, you use your leaves, you use your greenery from your kitchen. It also reduces the greenhouse gas that is admitted in the atmosphere. So using organic fertilizer, for me, is the best. There will be others who say the synthetic is better for them because they're interested in yield. But if you're interested in getting the most natural nutrients from your plant, organic is the best that you can use. Next. So organic fertilizer are made up of your animal waste, your manure, your wood ash, your compost, your green manure, your wholemeal, anything that is biodegradable, except we say we don't want to put any meat in any flesh. Yes, it's biodegradable, but you don't want to put it. It will cause a stench and it will attract rodents that you don't want around you. So it is always good to use organic fertilizer. And let me give you an example. You know, bone meal is the nutrients like crushed bones, or crushed shells or crushed stones can be used. Manure from your goat, from your sheep, from your bat guano, from your poultry, from what again? The animal waste is good organic fertilizer. So these are some examples there of organic fertilizer that can use. Next slide. So I'll give you some examples of some synthetic fertilizer, which we have used 12, 24, 12. And when you look at the numbers, 12, 24, 12, the breakdown of fertilizer is nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. So the larger number that you're seeing will always be the one in the middle, right? And then, because that is how you will see the numbers reflect the strength of the fertilizer, right? NPK.
right? So the nitrogen is 12, potassium is 24, phosphorus is 12. And you want to ensure at the end of the day that your plants have strong leaves, strong roots, strong cell walls, right? Because you want to ensure that at any moment, if your plant is attacked by a disease, it has a fighting chance. It's like for people who use a lot of vitamin C, it says, it helps fight against the flu and resistance to a lot of sicknesses. You need to get sunlight. A lot of people doesn't want the sun to burn them because the sunlight is needed. Vitamin D, right? Beta carotene within carrots, that vitamin, good for your eyes, right? You find you have vitamins that helps with your blood circulation, helps with your liver and your heart. There are antioxidants that are good for you. The same thing that we need to build good resistance, plants also need to build good resistance. We have 20-20-20, which is the Nutrex, right? Again, it's equal part nitrogen, it's equal part phosphorus, and it's equal part potassium, right? 20-20-20. And then you have the blue corn, 12-12-17-2. 12 again is nitrogen, 12 again is phosphorus, but the 17 is potassium and the 2 is magnesium. And magnesium, copper, zinc, is that 2%, right? But that bigger number there, that potassium, that is the stage when the plant is ready to bear. And the plant is, using up all that energy that it needs to produce fruit. I'm going to use a simple illustration. I hope it's simple to most of us. If a woman gets pregnant, she needs to stay healthy. She needs to eat healthy because she eating not for herself alone, but for that baby who is developing in her. She needs to put in a lot of nutrients. But we can also over-fertilize. We need to ensure that we put nutrients of compost within our soil. And if we want to use some synthetic fertilizer, we can also do that. We can also do that so that we can get that strong plant growth. Because strong plant growth means strong roots, a good yield, and a healthy plant. So I have two videos I want to show you. The first one will last about 6 minutes, and then the second would last about 15 minutes. But after we watch the first video, no, we'll watch both of them, and then I will come on and make comments, and we will take questions afterwards.
You know, with all the talk about fertilizer, how do you know the best fertilizer choice to use for whatever you're growing in your garden or landscape, especially with all the options out there? And what do the numbers on the fertilizer package mean? Well, today we're breaking it down to the fertilizer basics so you can learn the what, when, and how to use any type of fertilizer with confidence. Fertilizer provides nutrients that are key for optimal plant health, and the primary nutrients are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Now, those ingredients are represented on the fertilizer package by 3 numbers that are prominently displayed. Now, before we talk about the numbers and what they mean, let's address the primary nutrients and what each one's best known for. And a simple way to remember it, and in this order, is up, down, and all around. The first ingredient in the ratio is nitrogen. Nitrogen helps with plant growth above ground. Nitrogen does a great job of promoting the green leafy growth of foliage, and it provides the necessary ingredients to produce lush green lawns. Lawn fertilizers will frequently have a high first number, a high level of nitrogen. The next nutrient is phosphorus. It's very effective at establishing growth below ground in the form of healthy root systems. It's also the component most responsible for flower blooms and fruit production. You'll notice that fertilizers designed for flower production, or starter type fertilizers for your lawn, have a high middle number, representing phosphorus. The third ingredient is potassium. It's considered important for overall plant health. This is primarily due to its ability to help build strong cells within plant tissue. In turn, the plants withstand various stresses such as heat, cold, pest, and diseases. For example, winterizer fertilizers will have a high third number, a high component of potassium. So about the numbers on the fertilizer package and what they mean. The number always represents the percentage of that primary nutrient relative to the total weight of the package. So for example, a common all-purpose fertilizer is 10-10-10, and that means that 10% of each of those nutrients is how much of that nutrient is in the bag. So let's take a 50-pound bag, for example. 10% of 50 pounds is 5 pounds. So in a 10-10-10 ratio, you have 5 pounds of nitrogen, 5 pounds of phosphorus, and 5 pounds of potassium, and it's always in that order: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So in this case, we have 30% of the total volume of nutrients. So what happens to the other 70%? Well, that's what's considered filler or inert material, which is just really there to help bulk out the packaging and make distribution of the nutrients easier. So now that you understand the basics of the numbers and what each primary nutrient is mostly responsible for, what's the difference between organic and synthetic or man-made fertilizers? Well, first things first, plants can't distinguish between organic and man-made nutrients. The chemical makeup of each nutrient is the same no matter where it originates from. However, man-made synthetic fertilizers are typically engineered to be water-soluble. That means they become available to plants quickly when in contact with water. So the upside is that if you need to get nutrients into a plant quickly, water-soluble synthetic fertilizers do that best. The downside is too much of a good thing is definitely not a good thing. Excessive fertilizer to the plant too quickly can either burn or harm or kill your plants. So think of it as a potentially deadly nutrient overdose. It's really easy to apply too much synthetic fertilizer. And the other risk is that nutrients that aren't taken up by the plant can leach into aquifers and run off into watersheds, contributing to adverse environmental impact. Organic nutrients, on the other hand, need to be broken down in the soil first by the microorganisms that live there. And the breakdown process can take anywhere from a couple weeks to several months, so they become a form that's soluble that the plant roots can absorb. But along the way, those nutrients are becoming part of the soil ecosystem. Now, the really good news is those organic nutrients are never in a concentration that's high enough to harm or burn your plants, and that's a good thing. Now, the downside is that because it takes a little while for those nutrients to break down, they're not readily available, so it requires a little bit of patience. But in my book, organic nutrients are the best way to fertilize your soil because you're feeding the soil while the soil feeds the plants. Some of the more common organic nutrients for nitrogen include blood meal, cottonseed meal, fish emulsion, and seaweed or kelp. For phosphorus, look for bone meal and rock phosphate. And for potassium, green sand and sulfate of potash are good choices. So what am I using here at the garden farm? Well, if you know me at all, you know that I love to feed the soil so the soil can feed the plants. So I'm using organic nutrients. And yes, I recognize that it can take a little bit longer for those nutrients to become available. But I've been feeding the soil constantly, so I always have nutrients in the soil. And I also like knowing that what's in there isn't doing any harm to the soil ecosystem or the plants growing in it. So for me, my choice is to feed the soil so the soil can feed the plants with organic nutrients.
Okay, so we hope you see that video. We're going to share another video with you.
Fertilizing. I've taken my videos that I've done over the years with respect to fertilizing and I put them into one long video. There will be a digital table of contents, so you can just look in there in the description and jump to the parts of the video you'd like to watch. I want to dispel a couple of myths first, especially if you're a first-time gardener. Chemical fertilizers are not poisons. They can't hurt you. They can't hurt your plant. If they're overused and abused at a high industrial scale like mass farming, they can kill out the life in your soil, but that's not something you're going to do. The reason I say that is because organic fertilizers are wonderful. You can use them if you want. If you don't want to use them and you want to use a chemical fertilizer, I don't want you to think that you're poisoning your plants or that you're poisoning yourself. The truth of the matter is everything on the planet is a chemical. Chemical compounds made up of the elements from the periodic table of elements. So your organic fertilizers, worm castings, the chemical fertilizers, kelp, extract, everything is a chemical. Now, they're in different forms. So the organic fertilizers are really in a form in compounds that they go into the soil life breaks those compounds down, and then they release nitrogen, phosphorus, and the elements that your plants need to the plants. And I'll talk about that in a second. The chemical fertilizers are synthesized, not synthetic, not fake. They go through a process where people use usually energy or chemical reactions and change elements and chemical compounds into forms the plant can use. Your plants cannot tell the difference. Your plants do not care. People care, but that's up to you. So I just don't want you to fear that you have to be all organic or there's a problem. Now, a couple of things. Organic fertilizers are really precursors to compost. And what do I mean by that? Most of your organic fertilizers could be thrown on a compost pile, let to break down, and then you use the compost in your garden. So if you're gardening, compost is your best friend. If you can make a lot of compost, you can really fill your garden beds up with that and your plants will do perfectly fine. After compost, or maybe equal to compost, comes worm castings. All natural. I like to call it the end product of nature because it's the castings from worms. Perfect for the garden. Then you get your organic fertilizers that are a step in between, and then you have the chemical fertilizers that are processed by human beings. And again, nothing with the chemical fertilizer is fake. You just can't make fake nitrogen, you can't make fake phosphorus or anything like that. If that were true, thousands of years ago when the alchemists were trying to turn lead into gold, they would have succeeded. So I just want to be clear with that. Now, there's two kinds of fertilizers. There's soluble fertilizers and insoluble fertilizers. Most of your organic fertilizers are insoluble, which means the plants can't use them. The root system can't pull in the nitrogen, phosphorus, and such from there until the soil life breaks that down. So insoluble fertilizers are slow-release fertilizers. for instance, in these seed starts, you wouldn't want to use insoluble fertilizer mixed in here because there's no soil life to break it down. So that leaves you with soluble. Soluble means that the chemical fertilizers or a specific type of organic fertilizer can mix with water, it becomes soluble, and the root systems can pull that water right into into the plant actually, and there'll be nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and sulfur in there, the major macronutrients. So when you're doing seed starts, you definitely want to make sure you either have a chemical fertilizer or an organic fertilizer that is soluble, water soluble, because that's what they use. And then when you get out into your containers and into your gardens, you use more of the insoluble. You use 2 different types. So I just wanted to preface this video series about chemical fertilizers aren't poison. Everything is a chemical. And really know the difference between insoluble and soluble fertilizers. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please use the digital table of contents. Thanks. Welcome to the Rustic Garden. Today I want to show you what over-fertilizing your seedlings and your transplants can look like.
So we have just seen 2 videos whereby we have a different breakdown of what we can use or what we can do in our farming. I know that that you have some questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run about 6 or 7 minutes of the video that we were now seeing, and I will get back to you after that break. All right? So we will run that video again. I'll ask my assistant to run that video again. The part on how to fertilize, you'll get some information, and then we will take your question and answers. And fertilizing your plants, I want you to understand again that you can give your plants too much fertilizer, but you can never give your plants too much organic manure. You can never give your plants too much of that because it always enhances the soil so that the plant will be able to, with the microorganism, break down the nutrients and therefore feed itself in a beautiful way. So I know there are many of you who have questions. We have some time this evening because I know I was going to get a number of questions, and a lot of you have some questions. So we will put the name of the first video on the screen, but all the names are there, you know. All the names are there, and if you want, you can go on the LMS and you're gonna see the videos and the names of the videos, all right? But I know we'll have a lot of questions today. I hope that everyone has if you know you'll forget your questions, just write it down and ensure that you we have it ready so that we can take more questions. Okay? So I'm ready for questions now. Brian Antoine, you're up. So we just want to unmute them so that they can speak. Yes, Ms. Antoine, are you ready?
Yes. I was now typing that I cannot unmute. Are you hearing me, sir? Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. I'm hearing you.
Good afternoon, sir. Well, I said to an email and I sent you pictures of my plants and they are growing very slowly. The pak choy all but after about 3 weeks, after the first week it stopped growing. I tried the Nutrex. I was using the 12-24-12 and everything, and it just stopped growing. I had no choice but to pull it out because it just basically died. And I'm trying some new pak choy seedlings from another plant shop because I don't know if it was the seedlings themselves, but I just find the tomatoes and also because I planted those about 4 weeks ago and I'm not really seeing much of a difference in the size. What?
Were you on to see the tomatoes that we planted in when we did our grow box? Were you on to see it?
Yes, I did. I did. And my tomatoes are nowhere near that size. They're not nowhere anywhere flowering or anything of that sort. So I don't know. Or even the pimentos are still, I'm planting in pots, so I don't know if that might be influencing it. They have holes in them, fertilizing them, using.
Well, in the grow box that we have out there, they're in bricks, and so they have is about the same size of within the pots, and they are growing healthy. Did you mix your medium according to how we specified?
Well, the medium was one that was bought already mixed.
And that might be the problem, Brian.
Okay.
Because sometimes they will tell you, yes, it have all of that in it, but for this training session, I want you to do it yourself. Make sure you get all the ingredients that we say to put in your medium and make your medium. Because sometimes, listen, the man just trying to sell medium, he said, yeah, all that in it, yeah, man, all that in it. Yeah, telling you it have it in it. I know the reactions they will give you. And they will tell you, yes, it have it, yes, we put it, we give it the right mixture, and they will give you all that talk. And at the end of the day, if your medium doesn't have the right mixture, then you will see your plant not growing because something going to be missing.
Okay. So that what reminded, I know I'm just flipping back, but just is topsoil. Could you give me the mixture again so I can make it for myself? I'll do it tomorrow, please, God, because I have
topsoil.
Could you give me like how much so I can mix it? How much are topsoil?
So it's 2-to-1. It's 2 subsoil to half bucket or to 1 bucket of everything.
So 2 buckets are
topsoil to a bucket of manure or compost, a bucket of sharp sand, half bucket of limestone.
Manure, 1 manure.
And manure, half bucket of manure and mix.
So wait, 2 buckets of topsoil, 1 bucket of manure, 1 bucket of what again? I'm sorry, you're going real fast.
Compost. Half bucket of sharp sand.
Right.
Half bucket of limestone.
Okay.
And mix.
These. Okay, what I will do is I'll do this mixture because I find my plants just nah.
But it will come. It will come. Make sure you do that mixture and it will come. Okay?
All right, sir. Thanks very much.
So what about the sawdust?
Well, if you want to put sawdust, you can also, but make sure your sawdust is well cured and well rotted. All right?
Half bucket, sir, or 1 bucket?
About a bucket. But if you can go back on the LMS, you're going to see the mixture. It's there for you to see. That is what it's there for. It's on the module. Go back on the module and you will see it. All right?
Okay, sir.
Okay, then. Genevieve Duncan.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. So I don't know if my I think my patchoy ready to be harvested.
When
I find it looking big. when it's time.
Listen, if the leaves are big, like the pak choy that we have outside there, did you see them?
Yes, sir.
They could be harvested. If it's like that,
Oh,
yes, they could be
yes.
harvested.
Okay.
Yes, harvest them. Pak choy take
Okay.
normally 4 to 5 weeks, and we in our 6th week.
All right.
And we started the plant. We started the plant from our 2nd week. So yes, you can start to harvest.
And another question is that I went to get some more seedlings, and one of the person, he was telling me, wonder to put with your plants is Epsom salts. What is your take on Epsom salts in the plants, sir?
Epsom salt is a calcium base, and it is like sulfur nitrate. It's I will only if your soil is lacking calcium, then you can go with that.
Okay, thank you. Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
sir.
You're welcome. Nikisha George.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Concerning the fertilizer in terms of the compost that they spoke about today, is it that you're just going to be putting it around your plants in your bed or in your box?
What is the fertilizer or the compost?
Using the compost as the fertilizer.
Right. So here, what you're going to be doing, you're going to be putting it. You're going to be putting it throughout, mixing it in the bed, but around the plants. Remember, that has to be broken down by microorganisms. So the plant won't get it right away, but as you're wetting it, the microorganism going to be breaking it down, and when the plant taking in the liquids, it's going to be taking it in.
Okay, thank you.
You understand? No, I want to ensure that you understand what I'm saying. It's
Yes,
not that
sir.
it's not that you're going to dissolve the compost in water, no. But you're putting the compost around the plants. You're putting it there. The uptake gonna be much slower than the synthetic fertilizer.
Fertilizer. So,
Yeah.
something like when we make the bath tea and these things.
Right. So if you have the bati, that one's gonna be taken up quick.
Okay. Okay.
And that
thank
is
you.
organic.
Okay, sir. Thanks very much.
You're welcome. Cheryl and Pierre.
Hi, good afternoon, sir. Are you hearing me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. I put the Nutrex. Remember last week I told you something was eating out and having a ball. I put the Nutrex. Well, I see the picture and they're looking a little better this week.
Okay,
and
that's nice.
What I wanted was that, did you see the compost juice I put up?
I didn't go. I didn't go on my emails. I'm planning to go on it tonight to look at it, and I will look at them tonight.
Okay, so I had my first compost juice. I was excited about it. My first juice, it looked like orange juice because remember I told you about the pawpaw tree that. So I left the pawpaw to ripe. So I mashed it up in the compost with pumpkin and fruit skin and everybody, but it come out because a lot of pawpaw and pumpkin came out looking like something you're ready to drink. Looking like something to drink. So I was telling everybody, save this, save that. So they wanted to know something was wrong with me. I said, well, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So I was so excited. The dirt really helped with the smell. The dirt really helped with the smell. So the smell was bearable.
Very good.
So I am excited about it.
And I'm glad to know that
so
you're excited about it.
Do you take the juice and throw it with the pacture and thing that is growing now?
Yes, you can, or you can pour it back within your compost heap.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Debbie Golden.
Afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So, well, I have exciting news.
But you're singing, so Debbie, you're not singing like you have exciting news. Exciting news must bring a kind of exuberance.
Yes, but I don't know. As with my compost heap,
Yes.
I actually say I finally got it. Remember all the time I
Wonderful.
was trying it and I just wasn't getting it. But when I got the juice from it, I use it and throw it on, add some tomatoes that was already in bloom already and already have fruit. And I throw the juice in, well, I had them in pots. I throw the juice in that. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
But once you get juice from your compost, you need to really put it back within the compost.
Oh, okay.
It will help it to break down much faster.
Oh,
You can use it in your plants too, but I'm saying you could also use it back in the compost again.
Okay, so if you don't use it back in the compost, how long could you store it for? And if you could store it in a container?
No, you have to use it up.
You have to use it up one
You
time.
have to use it up, yes.
Oh,
So that's why I say
oh.
you either put it in your plants or use it back in the compost. So if you put some in your plants, use back the rest in the compost.
Yes, I did that. Okay. And my lettuce is ready to reap.
Well, reap your lettuce and send a picture for me on the have all those who have to harvest and put it on an email with me later on. So let me rejoice with you on your bounties.
After the class, I'll go and take out pictures of it. I haven't taken out pictures of it recently.
Harvest it and take out pictures and send it to me. I'll be glad to and excited. I'm excited for you.
Yes, and the when you use like the pati, because I use the pati on the lettuce, and like I use it like let's say that was Friday. How long after do I harvest?
Did you throw it on the leaves?
I think so, yes.
No, you should not throw them on the leaves, not the bati. You should put it more to the roots.
Okay.
All right.
So I have to wait now.
So you have to give it about 3 days and wash it off.
3 days?
Yeah, about 3 days after, and you will just wash it out.
All right. Okay. Now you have me worried.
No, don't be worried. Don't be worried. You just wash it off. Just make sure it's washed off properly.
Before harvesting?
Yes.
All right, no problem.
Okay then.
The lettuce them looking great.
I am so, and this is what I want to hear from everybody. I'm hearing from some, but I'm not hearing from all. There are over 100 and something people on this chat, and I'm not hearing from all of you.
I solved my batchak problem. I put them batchak bait and everything, total batchak bait in less than an hour.
Very good.
One minute. And
so I am glad. I
haven't seen them since.
And these are the success stories that I am looking forward to hearing. And I want people to know, listen, there's no foolish question on this platform. If you don't understand something clearly, I am here to help, to explain, to break it down. As you see, I have a lot of patience. It wouldn't upset me. I want to see at the end of the day, you grow your own food and reduce what the amount of income that you have been putting out there. Okay?
Okay, and also before I leave to go, they eat out all my leaf off of the sorrel. And well, the sorrel is still, they didn't cut the head, so it's still surviving.
It will still produce more leaves and it will continue, it will be.
Let's continue putting the 12, not the 12, 24, 12, the other one, the 12, 17, 2, the blue corn.
Yes, you will start to put that after. How tall the sorrel is now?
The sorrel probably about 3 feet. Oh, that's so tall. Small still, small.
Well, wait when it gets about average 2.5 feet to 3 feet, and then you can add that.
All right, then, no problem. So continue with the 12, 24, 12.
Yes.
Okay, then. Thank you.
I see your emails. I see that you emailed me all your problems, but I am willing to to hear all your problems.
Okay.
Cyrilia Gums.
Good afternoon, sir, and everybody.
So could you come closer to your microphone, or I'm not hearing you too clearly.
Is this better?
Oh, much better, much better. Thank you.
Wonderful. All right. Now, so don't laugh at me.
I would never laugh at you. I will smile with you, but wouldn't laugh at you.
All right, I laugh at myself. My question is, how you know when the lettuce is ready to pick? Is it that you leave it for a certain length of time, or you just notice the leaves big? Because my lettuce were coming up and they had an odd shape. They grew really long like trees. And then I see the big leaves coming out. So I heard the lady speak just now about harvesting. So I said, all right, we planted the same length of time.
So from the moment your lettuce starts to grow up and starts to grow like a tree, it's time to cut it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's time to cut it. Because lettuce is supposed to be spreading out, and from the time, listen, you can cut your lettuce after 3 weeks. Some people like young lettuce.
After 3 weeks.
You see, like how some people will pick cucumbers for do pickles, and the cucumber is just about 1.5 inches in length. And so lettuce can be picked after the leaves are 2 inches, 3 inches. But a lot of us like our lettuce matured real big. That is when most of the nutrients is developed within the lettuce. And when it's very young, it's more bitter. And nothing is wrong with that. That bitterness is good for your bile, for your liver. So you can harvest it at maybe after 3 weeks, once the leaves have good size. But preferably 5 to 6 weeks is good time to harvest your lettuce.
So we are on week what?
We're in week 6, so you can harvest.
All right, so that's about this time. Okay,
Yes.
great. Thank you. And I'll give you a joke. Today, my nephew has with me. How old is he? About 3. So I'm showing him how to plant, and we did our medium, and we put in our fertilizer, poke the hole, cover it, set up the plant. Nice. I said, okay, bring the plant. Let us put it here with the others. My boy capsized the whole plant.
Well, he's learning. He's learning.
And then laughed at me. I said, boy.
Yes.
Yes.
He's learning.
He's learning. He's learning. We're passing it on one time. Okay,
Yes.
thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
And it's Cirilla.
Cirilla Gums.
Yes, sir. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anne-Marie Campbell Fraser.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
Same
afternoon.
problem I wanted to find out about harvesting now.
Okay. So you can start the harvest. Because I have some lettuce out there, and
yes, look, yes, sir.
And I think I will harvest them.
So see you see in the something was eating my lettuce. I mean not the lettuce, the pak choy.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you're seeing it.
I seen you.
No?
I ain't seen it.
Oh Lord, just a second, 1 second.
Yeah, sometimes the camera just give a problem to switch, but all right, well, here what I want you to do.
I just seen it now. Right?
Yeah, just send me a picture of it and do your harvesting. I will give
that ain't ready to pick.
It ain't ready yet.
I say that ready. Look how tall.
Yes.
So what to do? Pick it.
Yes,
Pick it.
harvested,
Harvest it.
yes. Yes.
Yeah, because it. And this is my lettuce right here. Is that
Nice.
too?
Okay, yes, because that variety will start to grow tall. So yes, you can harvest that. It's based on the variety of lettuce that you
Okay,
have. Your
thank
kale,
you.
your kale is coming good too. I saw the kale. So you're doing well. You're doing well. You're doing well.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Keep up the good work.
I enjoyed this class.
I'm glad to know that. I'm glad to know that. I'm glad. Okay, I'm moving on again. Natasha Nelson.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Good afternoon. I just want to find out something with the lettuce. If when we go to harvest it, if we just like take off the leaves, will they continue to regrow?
No.
Okay, so we have to
No.
take it
So
out from the roots.
yes, I will. In fact, I will do just for the class to see. I will do a harvest on one of the beds so that you will be able to see the harvesting. I plan to do it tomorrow, but since a number of you have your stuff that is ready to harvest, I will do a harvest for you so that you can see how to harvest your lettuce. Okay, so let me go on my what's happening. Just trying to get my camera to. Right. Okay. So let's look at this lettuce here. The leaves, this lettuce is growing sort of tall. What you want to do is to go to the base of the lettuce here, and make a cut, clean cut. And there you have your lettuce. Right? Some of these leaves are spotted. I'll do another one. You go into the base of the lettuce and you're cutting. Nice. And you have your lettuce here. Nice cut, clean cut to the base. You have a sharp knife. I will do one with a pak choy here. You go into the base, you can lean the pak choy to the side and make a clean cut. And you have your pak choy here. Let me do one more. So just lean your pak choy to the side, to the bottom, clean cut. And you have your pak choy here. Right? So I've just harvested 2 pak choy and 2 lettuce. Right? So I'm back to questions now. I hope you all have seen what I've done. Natasha Nelson.
Sir, yes, I've seen.
Right, and so that you're ready to do your harvesting this evening, right?
No, I think I have about a week again.
Okay then. Okay. All right. So thank you very much. Let me go on to Shane Ramroop.
Good day, sir.
Good day.
I got nothing coming out nice, it's coming out good. But I had a next question. I wanted to know if you have any advice in planting marijuana.
No, I don't have any advice in planting. You want to plant your 4 trees?
Yeah.
Well, all I can say to you, use the same mixture.
All right then.
Yeah.
All right then. So thanks.
You're welcome. Next question. From Angela Marshall.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I planted mustard.
Okay.
Yeah, but the leaf, just as the girl asked, can I cut off the leaves? Because I did something like that with one of them. Just cut off the leaves and leave the mustard itself.
Yes, yes. With mustard, yes, you can do that. But with pak choy and lettuce, it's totally different.
Okay.
Because mustard grows extremely tall.
But the leaves are so big.
The leaves are extremely big. So you can, yes, you can cut a few leaves. But the only plant I know that comes well in doing so is kale. You can cut the kale and it will recur until it reaches a certain age and you have to cut it again.
Okay. Another question. Inside of one of the pak choy in the middle, like something is eating on the inside, dead inside.
Hoppers, yes, hoppers.
So do I get rid of it?
Well, of the pak choy, yeah. Well, you could, if you spray some, as I said, some garlic and some marigold on that and pak choy, the hoppers should stay away.
Okay then. Okay then. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Mira Sami Mohammed.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I have some sweet peppers and under the leaves there's some black pine mites. What can I do about those?
Okay, well, I haven't reached pest and disease yet, but if you get some Fastac that you could spray on it, that will keep them away. That will keep them away.
Okay, because I've seen that they're also on the young leaves.
Yes.
That coming up.
Yeah, and they will suck the life out of that.
Okay. So you could use the Fastac. What's the ratio of the mix?
The ratio is given on the bottles.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hananiah Philip.
Yeah, you got it right the second time. Hananiah
Philip, yes.
I think my question will be similar to the person just now because I bought a fungicide today, but I have no idea how to use it.
Instructions are on the bottle.
To the plants.
Yeah, the instructions are on the bottles for the fungicide, for the pesticides. You just follow the instructions that they're giving you. See if you could get a syringe, an agricultural syringe in the agro shop should have them, or in a pharmacy. Ask them you want to get one of the big syringes with the tubes on it. That should work, and you can use that in your measurement to do your measurement.
And are we applying the fungicide to the soil or like directly to the planted soil?
To the soil and to the root to the stem, basically to the root, especially where the disease is affecting it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Wendy George.
Hey, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, I use the Fastac on my bed because of the mold problem. If you see the big mold that jump out of this bed,
the mold cricket.
Yes, it was so huge.
Yeah.
But since after that, I have not seen any plants disappearing. So thank you so very much for that.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome.
All right.
You're most welcome. Juliet Henry Batiste.
Yes, sir. My question is basically about the dwarf plants, right? Is that a grafted type of plant?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
And you were talking about the dwarf avocado or the dwarf
And
pumpkin,
yeah, the citrus.
or the dwarf citrus or the dwarf mangoes. Yeah, they are grafted.
Okay, thank
In
you.
in all varieties, they have to everything that is a sweet, there's a sour. To everything that is a tall, there's a short. And it grows in different parts of the world. And if you can get the seeds across here and grow it, and they will graft on and plant it, you will get that same, especially if it belongs to the same family, you will be able to get it, especially if it's a mango. And you will be, if you might get a short cutlass mango tree, but we know cutlass mangoes, they are very large.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So the same thing. You remember, I don't know if Price Mart and Massey still have sweet tamarind, especially in the Far East and Asia, you can get sweet tamarind.
Yes.
And the same way you can get sweet grapes, you can get sour grapes. Right? So they're all grafted, yes. And you can, and that's how you get them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Michelle Chung.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have several questions. You mentioned that your bucket with your compost, you had it under a table.
Here it is. Under the table.
How mine is outside in a bucket exposed to the elements? That's wrong?
No. But
okay.
make sure when rain fall in, let the rain soak it too much that all the juice is running out.
Well, sir, I haven't gone by that bucket ever since because I'm frightened to see any worms, right? So, so I haven't done that. The second part what confused me this afternoon from the videos, when they was talking about using 555, I got a bit confused.
Oh no. So in different parts of the world, they use different ratios of fertilization.
Okay.
Right? Depending on their soil structure, depending on how alkaline the soil is, they will use different fertilization. But all these nutrients have nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium.
Okay, my final question is, you just harvest 4 crops. If you want to go and plant back in those spots, do we have to do any sort of prepping the soil, moving those roots?
All we need to do is local balance. You dig up the soil again. You dig up the soil, but make sure that when you plant, what you're planting in that. Now, for me, I will let everything here. I will let everything here be harvested, and then do over a fresh. So I should be preparing another area to do a grow box, right? So that I will continuously have something planted. So when I'm finished with this grow box, I already have another one coming up, and then I will have another one. So if I what to put it in stages, that for every month I'm doing a grow box, it means that I will have a grow box throughout the year. I would not be searching to get anything new. I will have certain things, and I will know what I will plant in containers, especially like my my seasonings. And I will know coming to Christmas time or between October month, I want to put on my cucumbers. So I will have a lot of cucumbers during the Christmas period because plenty salad and all that sort of stuff. And I will do it in such a way so it is spaced out so that I can have crops throughout the year.
Because somewhere in my readings, it was saying that once you grow some vegetable or so, and you harvest it, you do not plant the same.
You don't plant the same relative. You don't plant the same family back in the same hole.
Okay. Why?
Yeah. Disease.
Oh, okay.
Disease.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Who's next? I have Natasha Nelson.
So that
Natasha.
probably was a error. I didn't realize my hand was still up. I
Okay.
asked already. Yeah.
Okay. Deanne Daniel.
Hi, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My question is this: with the the percentage of the NPK, for example, the 10-10-10, just to clarify, if you can't get 10-10-10 and say you're getting 5-5-5, if you double up on the mix on that mixture, will you then get like 10-10-10? For example, if you have to use 1 tablespoon of 5-5-5 to get 10-10-10, can you use 2 tablespoons?
2 tablespoons, yes, if you want to get 10-10-10, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Trisha Lacan James.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
On a spin-off from Ms. Chung's question with the 555 that we saw in the video. Now, I understand what you're saying about the type of soil that they might have.
Yes.
But what he was using the 555 for was for seed starters.
Yes.
Right. So if we want to start our own seeds, are we using the same 555 with our soil, with our type of soil?
If we can get 555, certainly you can.
All
But
right.
remember, that was really basically seedlings, that he was doing seedlings, he was starting up. They were just starting up, kind of introducing the seedlings to the
Soil type.
Yes.
Right, understand. But if, well, like me, I prefer to set my own seeds because these plant shops and their seedlings very unreliable.
And I support you 100%.
So I would prefer to set my seeds, but what medium would I be using and the fertilizer for that? Same 12-24-12?
So if you could get peat moss,
Uh-huh.
would be that will be your main base. Remember, for seedlings, seedlings don't really need no fertilizer yet.
Okay.
They will need fertilizer that is water soluble. So it means that the 555 could be dissolved in water and apply to the medium.
All right, so that's provided I'm getting the 555 water soluble fertilizer for it as it's
but you can get you can use the 20-20-20, you know.
Okay, that's the Nutrex.
That's the Nutrex, and you'll be able to give it not as strong as how we, but if you was using 5 tablespoons to a gallon, you use 3 or use 2.
All right, so a very diluted dose.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Because you don't want the plant to go into shock. But remember, the plant is first time it's getting this, and it's gonna be it's like you're giving it it's like if you're putting it on with a booster, and it might go into shock.
All right, understand. Okay, thank you very much. Enjoy your evening.
Same to you. And Anya Batiste.
Hi, good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody. I started spraying my plants with a garlic pesticide. Well, the garlic now spray that we were supposed to, well, I wanted to try it since I was seeing some holes in my patchoy. So I was wondering about when to spray it and how often to spray it.
So the best time will be in the evening period, and spray it like every 3 days.
Okay, thanks, sir. And I also wanted to ask about this homemade fertilizer that I came across where they would use the tea bags, the eggshells, and the fig peel, where you'll dry those out and then you will crush them up.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That works excellent. It's like what they call a bone meal fertilizer, rich in calcium and phosphorus.
Okay, great. Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. Anya Batiste, I see your hand still up. Brianna Antoine, your hand is still up. Do you have a next question?
I had a next question, sir.
You have a next question?
Yes, sir, please.
Sure.
I wanted to ask about the compost. I missed the class on compost last week. So I've had my vegetable peelings for weeks since class start in a bucket. What's the next thing I need to do to make it into compost now?
Brian, did you go on the LMS to see the what we did for compost?
I only saw the class came up for Tuesday. Today, I was looking for the class. I didn't see it until today, I believe. So.
Because it's a long kind of process to explain to you.
Oh,
but
okay.
Once you have all your ingredients that was I put on the module,
right?
Your container, and you put in 1 to 2 inches of. So if you put in dirt, 1 inch of dirt, 1 inch of manure or compost, 1 inch of green stuff, and then you go and you repeat till you reach about 2 inches from the top, and then you wet, you soak it down. Make sure that your container has holes and you have something to accept all that juice and that nice food that plant will be getting, and and you just continue doing that till your compost breaks down.
Okay. And yesterday I made a insecticide with cayenne pepper and garlic. Is that safe? I saw it on the ETIS. I follow them on Facebook.
Yes, that is safe also.
And I put it, I did a test on a spider, and the spider died within a short space of time.
Yes, if you get cayenne pepper or you get the other hot peppers that they have, yes, once you have hot pepper on that, yes.
Okay.
Garlic will work.
So, but I want to make this medium tomorrow. I won't be able to make it because I'm a composting set yet. So I want to buy the compost then. It have something. I want to buy it.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, sir. That's it.
You're welcome.
Have a good evening.
Same to you. Marsha Barrington.
Hi, pleasant good afternoon, sir. Pleasant good afternoon, everyone. So last week, I showed you the picture with the white spots on them, right? And you said to try the marigold.
Yes.
Right, on it, right? Now I could just put on my camera a second, it wouldn't be long. I just want to show you well how it coming out.
Oh yes.
See that? These spots on them when the new growth have there now, and the spots on them is no more.
So it works.
Yes, it works. Thank you very much. And secondly, with the compose that we was making, right?
Yeah.
My mom sent a message for you. She said she would like to see teacher to almost kill her and her husband with the scent that was coming out from the decomposed. I had to run and put the soil into it, the dirt and the soil into it to kind of keep down the smell afterwards. As soon as I open it, she said they run inside.
Yeah,
right? She said, tell the teacher thanks for almost killing them.
Tell them that is not my fault. I said dirt. I always wanted to say dirt.
I will tell her. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Have a blessed day.
Yes, same to you. Kurt Gomes.
Yeah, good afternoon to everyone. Sir, I was trying to
plant, I'm trying to set an avocado seed. You have any advice in setting those seeds?
Yeah. So you need to have the seed about 1 inch under the dirt and wet it and leave it there to germinate.
What happened? I did that, and it just rotten out. I see I set like beetles and thing.
Okay. Well,
Take it
maybe
out.
within the soil had a lot of insects that was not
Okay. Because it's not affecting the other plants.
no. But no, it need to be in a bag by itself, you know.
A bag?
Yeah, one of those bags to grow it, because with avocado you need to transplant avocado after a while.
All right. All right.
You need to put it in a bag. You need to go in a bag.
Okay then.
You could buy one of those bags with the holes and thing at the agro shop.
Okay.
All right.
All
You're
right.
welcome. Cherry and Pierre, do you have a next question?
Yes, I do, sir.
Okay.
When I wanted to find out if you don't have sharp sand to do the compost, if I can use the cocoa peat.
Your compost or your medium?
I mean, the medium. The medium.
Yeah, because I'm not going to say, well, if I say yes, they will say, that man is a quack. No. Yes, you can use cocoa peat.
Okay, thank you very much.
Because you know cocoa peat, when you wet it, it breaks down and it expands. So yes, you can use cocoa.
Yeah.
Gosh, teacher, so I can see you had a whole lot.
Okay, thank you.
I go in.
Okay, anybody else? I'm seeing 2 hands still there. Kurt, you have a next question for me? Okay. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we have about